Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So it is Thursday, so we gapped up. A little back and forth today. Some things to do, lots of divergences. Some scenarios didn't really make much sense to me, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes if you're very micro, things don't work out exactly the way you want to short term. But anyway, we talked about whether or not there would be some kind of, commitment to this upper range, whether or not Monday's high, which was, or Tuesday's high was like something like 29.10, whether we would get back towards there after a bit of a refresh, would we have bull flags to navigate? Well, lots of things did develop, some things a little bit more frustrating than others, so let's get into it. So first of all, if you go here, here's a chart of the S&P cash. You know, to me, nice looking bull flag, some commitment to this crazy move off of last week's lows to here. So at this point, the active bulls are in control. We're above all the moving averages. I would not be thinking short. I'd be more thinking long, the best names out there. And the best names are kind of hard to find, but they're out there. So anyway, if you're having a hard time finding them, maybe you're long the spiders or the S&P cash versus 2874. If you look at the spiders, in this range, so this is a nice bull flag, okay? It held above 2782 with a higher low. This is now out of, it's out of the realm, because unless we break below yesterday's low tomorrow, these things don't matter except for we're above them and we're holding higher. So this is a high level bull flag. We'll see if that continues and we'll see what happens here tomorrow. The Qs also high level bull flag above yesterday's low. Didn't run away, but we need some time considering the size of this move. There were definitely some things to do. This little just a gap or whatever you want to call this, or where I circled this to show you where the moving averages were. They're out of play because we are holding above it for now. So with that being said, with a gap up in the market, it was definitely very hard to figure out what would continue higher or what would go red. I think I came in with 6-7 longs today and I lost money. Not fun. What was the first thing I lost money on right away was Twitter. Why did I lose money on Twitter? Because it was downgraded and it broke below this spot that I was talking about. So if you were short term like me, it broke below 36.85. I actually gave it more space and got stopped out. So if you want to look at it now and you want to give it glass half full, okay, glass half full, and 35.76 is now your spot. Some of you guys, I told you, to use 35.75, and you did, and you never got stopped out, and that's probably good for you. For me, I just had a frustrating day, so maybe I got out of it a little too fast. All in all, this pattern, I guess, needs to build more. Supposedly, the guy that was downgrading this is very bearish, has been bearish on it all the way down from here. So I was thinking it wouldn't really have an effect, but it did. So now this is your point of reference. This was your active spot to get stopped out, and this, if you gave him more room, you gave him more room. Bear in mind that the market's a little trappy. What do I mean by that? Well, Facebook was the weakest one yesterday, then today couldn't go down. Just like that, all of a sudden Facebook has this descending trend line that it might break above and just spur a new move. So with that being said, pretty darn tight. I did not trade Facebook today, but it does look as if you wanted to be long versus this low here of yesterday, at some point it gets above this and could start a new trend. We like new trends. This was a trend. Remember when it broke above here? Trended all the way up before it hit a high. Now it's getting very tight in here. We like tight patterns, so we'll see what happens there. Amazon is also getting a little bit tight. Get this out of the way, this red dog reversal, which was what your pause signal was after a huge move from yesterday's lows, last week's lows. Now all of a sudden it's flagging. It's below this, but you can kind of get this out of the way now. The question is 1893 is now the pivot. Gets above and stays above that, maybe we're in a better market for FOMO. But for now, either you had to be long versus the trend line, and now we'll see if this bull flag gives you another scenario to buy higher. As of this point, you've had to buy into the weakness. And at this point also, We held the moving averages. This 818 is gone now. And 1844 is your point of reference of support from yesterday. Didn't lead today, but it hung in there. Google actually was really strong for itself. Little inside pivot area too. Not from a higher level, but from a lower level, which we never really like, but it's fine. This high here is what? 1096, so we'll see, does it get above that and see this, and then maybe even get up there. All in all, though, Google's acting a little bit better versus just trending down, where it could retrace a little bit higher. Apple I made a little bit of money on, but it also did a somewhat of a red dog reversal where it got above 196 and then stayed below it the rest of the day, so that got me out of it. All the moving averages are down here. This is when it triggered this descending trend line, descending channel. Day one buy, little follow through digestion, took out the prior high, and then boom. Now the question is, will this upward consolidation hold, or does it need to go lower? So for me, not a compelling long to just sit in, but we'll see how it goes for the market. Netflix, if you remember on Monday, everyone's like, oh my God, look at that outside reversal. What does it mean for overall for FANG? Well, it meant nothing for FANG. It meant be out of the way in Netflix. And that's what's happening here, is you're getting these divergences where, you have divergences among sectors and then within sectors. And all of a sudden, if you were shorting Amazon because Netflix was weak, or you were shorting Facebook or whatever it was, you didn't make money. You had to short Netflix. Anyway, Netflix, this is the outside day. This is the pivot that we circled. This was the rally back that got rejected. This was the bar that pressed below 2 days lows, and then here you are now at the 200-day. 4 days down. Is it over? I don't know. It's not special. It's definitely more bearish than bullish. So at this particular point, just take care. Can it get to here and hold? Maybe. Do you press 4 days down? I don't press 4 days up. So we'll see what happens here. This is now gone. Below the moving averages. High momentum name. Is this a rolling top? We'll see. Netflix sometimes likes to trap people with news, but at this point, I am not long or shorted, but this was your day to say, hey, stay away. But again, if you were staying away from other FANG names because this was so weak, you didn't participate, but that's why there's a little frustration in trader land, because you're having these divergences. The banks, wow, they kind of suck. Excuse my French. JP Morgan, two topping tails into into a down move that kind of held in here, I guess. You could say this is semi-decent. I don't think it's constructive, just semi-decent. The IWM was stronger today. Looks as if it's reclaiming the moving averages, so maybe there's a little bit more room here, so I wouldn't just be blindly shorted. Acted better than some other sectors today. I did come in long Uber. That was probably one of the few longs that worked for me today. I did take it home long also. Why? Because look at the size of this move. Got above 42.60, which I said it had to do. Traded through this 44 area. Now, who knows? Maybe next time it gets above this area, there's some FOMO. So I am long it, and I was really long a lot, and then on this day got long small, and then on this day got stopped out. On this day, a lot of other people got stopped out. So if you did, this was your potentially buyback. This 44 is gone. So now the question is, can it work its way back towards? Not a specials. Got rid of blah blah blah. It was upgraded. If it act better, get above and stay above 42.60, and it did. So now we'll see what happens here in the next few sessions if we can get above there. Now that momentum guys are knocked out. Lyft also got above its little spot, so maybe within a little bit of time it gets above this, cleared this smaller pivot, and now we'll see what happens there. ZS I am also long. Looks really good. It's looking as if it's ready for prime time. Unfortunately, I bought it a lot of times and I lost money trying to get it, to play it through 80. I'm hoping this isn't a double top, but it does feel like it's above the moving averages and it's ready to break out again. Last time I did it was right here. Just very sloppy. This is sloppy, so hopefully tomorrow it gaps up and it's not sloppy. Beyond is still hanging around. I was trying to get some options at the end of the day. I didn't get filled. I don't think I got filled. But if it gets above 150, perhaps it goes higher. It gets below 131, perhaps it goes lower. Doji close. I'd like to buy some options, I think, because I do think if it's going to get back to here, it probably has to happen soon and be next week. If it breaks below this, game over. So we'll see. I lost money in like some of the these names. CGC gapped up and went red and lower. I sold it when it went down, and then somewhere along the way, Same thing with this CRON. You know, no reason to be in it, gapped above this, couldn't hold a prior high, you get out, goes red, you get out, goes below a prior day's low, you get out, and now it's a whole lot of nothing for now. So we'll see. Oil, what did you do today? Wow, even with the whole Iranian tanker thing, it couldn't really go up, so it's below the 8-day this entire way down, not something to be long. When it's above the 8-day and the 21-day you're trying to be long, breaks below it, you get out, pops below it, gets back below it, you get out, and you don't have to be in this mess. So either way, I'm not saying it's in a very easy tape right now. I'm kind of lost in translation myself, where last week I made some decent money long, flipped on Friday, lost money Monday, got out of it on Tuesday, traded it pretty well. Yesterday tried to be long, was in 7-8 positions today. 4 of them didn't work out well. The other 4 were decent, but didn't counteract what didn't work. So again, it's very specific. There's lots of divergence. They're not giving money away. You have to be. Sometimes there's easier times than others. AMD, I got stopped out of that today. I sold some with the rest of mine into 34, which was a great sale. Bought some yesterday, got stopped out today. It's really not the worst thing in the world, but I guess it can get down to here. So it was weaker. What am I going to do about it? Semis are also weaker. Then now it says sell the semis. So, below this 31.82, I got out of it, which helped save me some money. And now we'll see, does it get to here, or maybe there's a red dog reversal tomorrow there. But again, nothing you could do about that. Tesla, what did you do today? Yeah, little red dog reversal, but I wouldn't be buying it still. Reversal yesterday, held in here today. Now we'll see what's next tomorrow. So with all that said, what time is it? It is 4:25. I want to get some charts together because tomorrow I'm in Short Hills, and hope everyone is doing okay and getting ready for Father's Day. Father's Day is awesome. My parents are coming in from Florida. Going to spend the day on the lacrosse field Saturday, the basketball court Sunday, little barbecue Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you do what you love to do, because you need to do that to keep your head, in straight. Mental toughness and feeding the brain is very important during the week and the weekend. Otherwise, it's very easy to get happy fingers and overtrade and frustrate yourself and do things you wouldn't do because things aren't happening in the way you want them to happen. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So you have to settle down. With all that said, I only have a few positions going into tomorrow. I think I just have Uber, I have ZS, and I probably should have a few more longs, but you know what? Tomorrow's graduation for my little guy leaving elementary school, parents coming in. I'm in a little spot in the market that I don't have such conviction on, so I'll wait and see how things set up in the morning. Have a good night.